In the last class, we studied about weather. Weather is the day-to-day atmospheric condition of a place. It has four elements: temperature, rainfall, wind speed, and humidity. Today, let us take up the subtopic climate. So, topic ma हामीले हेर्नुस् weather सक्यो. Now we'll focus on climate. Now, meteorologists have recorded weather for years and have found certain patterns. Who are meteorologists? Meteorologists are scientists who study and predict about weather. Okay, so when they have studied weather, they have found certain patterns. The weather repeats in a place at certain times of the year. भन्नुको मतलब चाहिँ, for example, in Sikkim, in the month of June and July, we have rainy weather. पानी पर्छ नि त June July मा every year, हैन? त्यस्तै गरी in the month of December and January, we have cold weather. So these repeats in weather, these are known as weather patterns, and understanding weather pattern helps us to predict climate. Okay, so let us define climate. The average weather condition of a place collected over a long time, लामो समयसम्म collect गर्यो, such as 25 years, is called climate of a place. Okay, so मैले अघि भनिहालेँ, कुनै पनि एउटा जग्गाको वेदरलाई लामो समयसम्म रेकर्ड गरेर हामीले त्यो जग्गामा अर्को साल कस्तो वेदर हुन सक्छ त्यो हामीले प्रेडिक्ट गर्न सक्छ. सो यसरी के अरे एभरेज वेदरलाई चाहिँ अब लामो समयसम्म जस्तो 25 वर्षसम्म कलेक्ट गर्यो भने चाहिँ we can find out the climate of that place. Different places have different climates. About India, there are many places and different places have different climates. Okay, for example, Kerala. Okay, Kerala has hot and wet climate. So Kerala ko climate la kasto bhanda रहेछ? Hot and wet climate. Now what do you mean by hot and wet climate? Hot भनेपछि गरम, wet भनेको जहिले तहिले पानी परेर बस्ने जग्गा. As the temperature is high throughout the year and it receives rainfall and throughout the year and it receives rainfall round the year. Okay, so वर्षैभरि गरम पनि हुन्छ, वर्षैभरि पानी पनि पर्छ भने चाहिँ त्यस्तो जग्गालाई चाहिँ we call it hot and wet. So Kerala has hot and wet climate. Another place that is in Jammu and Kashmir, okay, that is located in India, is Jammu and Kashmir. Okay, Jammu and Kashmir has moderate climate. Moderate climate. अब moderate भनेको ठिक्कको. Okay, moderate भनेको चाहिँ ठिक्कको. That means it is neither too hot nor too cold. As it is neither too hot, साह्रै गरम पनि हुँदैन, nor too cold. No, too cold. It is neither dry nor rains all the time. So जहिले तहिले पानी पनि पर्दैन, सुक्खा पनि हुँदैन, साह्रै गरम पनि हुँदैन, साह्रै जाडो पनि हुँदैन, त्यस्तो क्लाइमेटलाई चाहिँ we call it moderate climate. Okay, another place in India is Rajasthan. Rajasthan is hot and dry. Hot and dry. So hot and dry, किन पुरा गरम पनि हुन्छ, अन्त राजस्थानमा सुक्खा हुन्छ, पानी नपरेर, receives very little rainfall. As it is, it has, okay, as it has high temperature throughout the year, as it has high temperature throughout the year, and receives very little rainfall. Receives very little rainfall. पानी पनि एकदमै कम्ती पर्छ अनि त्यहाँदेखि एकदमै गरम पनि छ, त्यही कारणले यो हट एन्ड ड्राई. त्यस्तै गरी नर्थ इस्ट इन्डिया जस्तो हाम्रो जग्गा सिक्किम, असम, मेघालय, all these are north east states. So north east India is wet as it rains most of the year. भनेको यहाँ चाहिँ प्राय जस्तो पानी परिबस्छ, त्यही कारणले चाहिँ यस्तो जग्गा जो चाहिँ पानी परिबस्छ त्यस्तो जग्गालाई चाहिँ we call it wet. Okay, so different places have different climates. Okay, different climate. Now let us talk about climate and adaptation. Okay, climate or adaptation. Now you know there are many living organisms that are found on earth. अब जस्तो मैले अहिले भर्खर भने राजस्थान हट र ड्राई छ, तर यो राजस्थानमा पनि you will find different organisms नि त है living in Rajasthan, or you will find different living organisms living in Kerala. So all these animals that live in the particular environmental conditions, they are well adapted or well suited to survive in that climatic condition. Okay, so climate and adaptation. Now climate has a profound effect on all living organisms. Climate has profound effect on all living organisms. Some living organisms ma climate le asar garcha. Okay, they are adapted to survive in the conditions in which they live. भनेको जस्तो जग्गामा उनीहरु बसेको छ त्यो जग्गामा उनीहरु सर्भाइभ गरेर बस्छ. ओके, कसरी सर्भाइभ गर्छ भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ तिनीहरुमा चाहिँ they have special features. Okay, they possess special features. Special characters. त्यसलाई चाहिँ हामी भन्छ adaptations, which we have studied in class 6. Right? So they possess special features which help them to survive in such conditions, even in extreme cold, even in extreme heat. Okay, survive in such conditions. Okay, now let us study about the organisms that are found in polar regions and tropical rainforests. Okay, so first ma polar regions ma कस्तो organisms बस्छ र यिनीहरु चाहिँ त्यो जग्गामा बस्नुको लागि चाहिँ यिनीहरुकोमा के स्पेशल फिचर्सहरु हुन्छ, कस्तो स्पेशल फिचर्सहरु हुन्छ to survive in polar regions. Okay, now before moving to the animals that are living in polar regions, हामी पहिला बुझौं polar regions को climatic conditions चाहिँ कस्तो छ भनेर. Okay, polar region has extreme climate. Extreme climate भनेको जाडोमा एकदमै जाडो, गरममा एकदमै गरम. Because here 6 months the days हुन्छ, 6 months days हुन्छ and 6 months is night. भनेको चाहिँ 6 महिना चाहिँ घाम लाग्छ, 6 महिना चाहिँ घामै लाग्दैन. Okay, so when the sun shines, जब घाम लाग्छ त्यो स्नो चाहिँ सबै मेल्ट भएर पानी हुन्छ अनि फेरि घाम नलाग्दा चाहिँ सबै पानी जम्मेर चाहिँ it becomes snow. So extreme climate हुन्छ polar regions. Now I have some pictures of animals that are found in the in polar regions. हेर्नुस् यो एनिमल को दुईटा एनिमल को नक्सा छ Arctic wolf and snow leopard. Okay, so दुईटा Arctic wolf, माथिको चाहिँ Arctic wolf हो, यो Arctic wolf, this one is snow leopard. Now do you find any similarities in between these two organisms? दुईटा organism मा के similarity छ? So if you notice, they have white or light colored fur. अनि उसको body मा thick furry coats पनि छ. So polar regions मा एकदमै जाडो भएको कारणले गर्दा मैले अघि भनिहालेँ 6 महिना त त्यो the polar region is covered in snow. That is why the animals living in polar regions, they are mostly white or light colored and they have thick fur on their body. Fur भनेको hair on their body to protect themselves from the cold. Okay. Now there is one special animal that is present in the polar region, that is polar bear. So let us study about polar bear and its adaptations. Okay, here I'll show you a picture of polar bear. Polar bear चाहिँ यस्तो देखिन्छ. Okay, now notice its color, notice the color of the background. Hey, so यो polar bear चाहिँ यस्तो हुन्छ. Okay, so let us see what are the adaptive features that are present in polar bear. Hey? Polar bear have unique adaptive features to survive in polar regions. Some of these features are, so कुन चाहिँ features ले चाहिँ polar region लाइट्स polar bears लाई चाहिँ यस्तो जाडोमा पनि बस्नु सक्छ या त्यस्तो गरममा पनि बस्नु सक्छ. Let us discuss about them one by one. Okay. So the first adaptive feature that you can see in polar bear is its color. हेर्नुस् त कस्तो कलरको छ? It is white in color. So it has white fur. So first ma polar bears have white fur. So it is difficult to spot them in snow. So चिन्नु साह्रो पर्छ नि. स्नो पनि सेतो हुन्छ, हिउँ पनि, अन्त उसको पनि बडीमा व्हाइट हेयर भएकोले it is difficult to spot them in snow. They have a strong sense of smell. सुँग्ने शक्ति चाहिँ एकदमै पावरफुल हुन्छ. Okay, to locate and catch its prey. Okay, so किन सुँग्ने शक्ति उसकोमा बेसी हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ उसको खानेकुरा चाहिँ फुड चाहिँ कहाँ छ त्यो चिन्नुको लागि, लोकेट गर्नुको लागि अनि त्यसलाई पक्रिनुको लागि. Prey means the food. Okay, next is they have long, curved and sharp claws. Okay, long, curved and sharp claws. तीखो curve भनेको यस्तो बाङ्गो भएको, so that they can walk on ice. Okay, to help them walk on ice. Ice चिप्लो हुन्छ नि त. So उसको जुन चाहिँ यो जुन चाहिँ claws छ यो चाहिँ curve, sharp र हुन्छ, long पनि हुन्छ. So they can walk on ice. Okay, and fourth, they are good swimmers. अघि भने जब घाम के रे लाग्छ त्यहाँदेखि त्यो स्नो मेल्ट हुन्छ र पानी पानी हुन्छ सबैतिर. So they are, to survive in such conditions, they are good swimmers and they can hold their breath. Okay, सास रोकेर hold their breath and can remain underwater. For a long period of time. सो आफ्नो सास रोकेर पानीभित्र लामो समयसम्म पनि बस्नु सक्छ, शीतल हुन्छ नि त पानीमा गए पनि। ओके, एन्ड फिफ्थ अडाप्टेसन, दे हेभ टू थिक लेयर्स अफ फर अन देयर स्किन। एक लेयर मात्रै हैन, दुईटा टू थिक लेयर अफ फर। ओके, टू थिक लेयर अफ फर to protect themselves from extreme cold. Okay, themselves from extreme cold. Extreme cold. Okay, and then they also have a layer of fat under their skin. So fat छ भने चाहिँ के हुन्छ, त्यसले हिट बडीबाट बाहिर निस्किनु दिँदैन, अन्त बडीलाई तातो राख्छ। ओके, कल्ड ब्लबर, द्याट लेयर अफ फ्याट इज कल्ड ब्लबर। ओके, एन्ड सेभेन्थ अडाप्टेसन, these are the adaptations of polar bear that live in polar region. So यो features, यो 6वटा फिचर्सले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ पोलर बियरहरू त्यस्तो जाडोमा पनि या त त्यस्तो गरममा पनि दे क्यान सर्भाइभ। ओके, नाउ लेट अस टक अबाउट another animal that is found in polar regions, that is the penguin. Okay, penguin पनि polar regions मा पाइन्छ। So let us know more about penguin and how it survives in the extreme climatic conditions of polar regions. Okay, so you know, penguin, I have a picture over here. Penguins look like this. Okay, penguin live in large groups मा बस्दैन, एक्लै एक्लै कहिले पनि बस्दैन, and feed on fish, माछा खान्छ। Okay, and they have a they are birds. Penguin चाहिँ birds हो है, तर यो चाहिँ flightless birds भनिन्छ हामी यसलाई। flightless birds किन? Because they cannot fly. Okay, so they cannot fly, but they are a good divers. But they are good divers. Divers भनेको मजाले पानीमा dive गर्नु सक्छ। Okay, so some of the adaptive features of penguins, some of the adaptive features of penguins are, so के adaptive features रहेछ भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ, again if you look at the color, what is the color of penguins? They are white. Okay, so it is white and merge well with the background. Okay, white छ, so polar bear जस्तो white भएपछि उसलाई स्नोमा चिन्नु सक्दैन। Secondly, it has thick skin. यसमा चाहिँ फर चाहिँ हुँदैन। ओके, तर यसको बडीमा चाहिँ thick skin हुन्छ, and fat also. They have a lot of fat to keep themselves warm. Okay, अनि thirdly, they huddle together for warmth. तातो हुनुको लागि चाहिँ के गर्छ, जहिले पनि टाँसेर बस्छ। टाँसेर बसेपछि चाहिँ एकअर्काको बडी हिट पाउँछ नि त। ओके, सो त्यही कारणले चाहिँ यिनीहरू हडल भएर बस्छ। नेक्स्टमा दे हेभ webbed feet and streamlined body to help them swim. Fish मा feed गर्छ, अनि पानी स्नो बिलिँदा पानी हुँदाखेरि पनि तिनीहरू पानीमा मजाले स्विम गर्न सक्छ। वेब्ड फिट भनेको कस्तो भन्दाखेरि नि अब यस्तो हाम्रोमा चाहिँ यो 5 वटा फिंगर्स अलग अलग छ ओके तर वेब्ड फीटमा चाहिँ के हुन्छ यो दुईटा फिंगरको बीचमा पातला लेयर अफ स्किन हुन्छ Have you seen the feet of ducks हाँसको जस्तो हुन्छ सेम पेंगुइनको त्यस्तै हुन्छ ओके webbed feet streamlined body the body of a fish को जस्तो body यस्तो खालके tapering body यस्तो खालके body हुन्छ fish को जस्तो अनि यस्तोलाई चाहिँ हामी भन्छौं streamlined shape कि यो streamlined shape ले चाहिँ के गर्छ भन्दा चाहिँ it helps it to swim in water okay so because of these adaptive features penguin survive even in the polar regions now let us move on to another subtopic that is animal migration okay migration भनेको के हो एक जग्गादेखि अर्को जग्गा जानु okay so animals they move from one place to another and that is known as migration so animal migration so most of the birds that live in the polar regions they cannot survive the harsh winters of the polar regions okay so the birds of polar regions cannot survive the harsh winters okay because to survive they have to remain warm so they have to remain warm तातो बस्नु पर्छ warm to survive तर अब के हुन्छ 6 महिना त गरमै हुन्छ र त्यतिबेला त उनीहरु पोलर रिजन्स मै बस्छ त जब विन्टर लाग्छ they cannot live in that polar region so they fly over long distances okay they fly over long distances and nest in warmer regions so लामो बाटो यिनीहरु उडेर गएर पनि एकदम तातो जग्गामा गएर चाहिँ उनीहरु बस्छ so this movement is known as migration okay this is migration so let us define migration भनेको के रहेछ definition के रहेछ भन्दा चाहिँ movement of animals the movement of animals in groups over long distances in search of food warm climate shelter mates etc is known as migration so जब ग्रुपै एनिमलहरु चाहिँ अर्को जग्गा जान्छ केको सर्चमा खोजीमा भन्दा फुड तातो क्लाइमेट शेल्टर आफ्नो जोडीको खोजीमा गयो भने चाहिँ that is known as migration okay one such example of migration is that of Siberian crane okay Siberian crane is found in Russia of Siberia okay this नामै त Siberia भनिरहेछ so Siberian crane it is found in Siberia so this Siberia comes to India okay they migrate to India which is around 4,700 kilometers 4,700 kilometers to places like Bharatpur in Rajasthan okay Bharatpur in Rajasthan and Sultanpur in Haryana so हेर्नुस् त यत्रो टाढोबाट 4,700 किलोमिटर ट्राभल गरेर पनि उनीहरु साइबेरिया देखि इन्डिया आउँछ जब जाडो लाग्छ साइबेरियामा त्यहाँदेखि चाहिँ इन्डियामा बस्छ अनि दे गो ब्याक ओके दे गो ब्याक त्यो पनि एड गरौँ दे गो ब्याक टु पोलर रिजन्स polar regions during spring. So जब spring season लाग्छ अनि चाहिँ तिनीहरु फेरि polar regions मा जब घाम लाग्छ then they go back to the polar regions. Okay, so this is animal migration. With this we've come to the end of today's class. In tomorrow's class we'll discuss about the animals that live in tropical rainforests and their adaptations.